Hello and welcome back to round 3, back 9 coverage of the MPO league card here on JomezPro for the 2024 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. I'm Jeremy Koling, he's Paul Ulibarri, and it's 1:45 a.m. It's been the longest day of my life.
It's been a track.
And it's been a long day for these guys.
Yes.
Also trying to finish up their second full round here on the challenging Northwood Park course. Casey White still holding on to his lead. 2 under on the front 9 is a solid score. But the back 9, as you guys know, is where it gets funky. We've got a bunch of players trying to track down the man who's had the lead since round 1. Starting the event off with a hot 7 under and backing it up with a good 4 under. It's been playing solid, but we did mention that he did have a split finger that he experienced just on hole 8. And he's been trying to take care of it with new skin, but we'll see if that injury plays a factor going into these final 9 holes on moving day.
Hole 10 is one of the tough ones, par 4, 722. A couple routes you can do. You can do this backhand over the parking lot. You can see the OB line. You just got to miss that one tree and then hope.
Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be fine.
Did that hit in the parking lot and bounce over the railroad ties?
I don't think so.
Or the logs there? Okay. It looked like it was close to doing that.
Presnell gets this too high. Can it? No, it cannot.
Let's just be quiet for a second so the fans can hear all the frogs that have gathered in this pond right in front of the tee pad.
I think Joey's going with a similar route, but he turns this over.
Oh, what a kick. That kick is actually going to give him a very long but straight look at the pin. When I first heard all the croaking, I actually thought that it was the double brood cicadas coming out. I didn't know that the frogs would just congregate right there, right by the tee box. They were loud.
And then the last round, Casey actually went with the sidearm approach. This time he goes with the layup of the backhand, and it works just as good. He wasn't able to get up and down in the last round. Let's see if he can fix that mistake.
And you can also see how muddy that side slope is. You really would like to be all the way down at the bottom just for footing alone.
Not sure how that ended up working out for
look at this,
Andrew, but let's look at Ezra's spot.
Just a little too high. Oh, but it is working, and it's working out amazing. Oh my goodness.
Almost hops in.
It's just the height there, it does not serve well unless you
get past all of it. What a 2 that would be. Wow. This is a skinny little gap right here. Oh, Joey, he doesn't like it just because it leaks out, but just to hit the gap, I'm telling you that he did well. Oh, okay.
And this is Andrew's first forehand of the round, meaning it was quintessentially only a forehand.
He gives himself a look.
Yes. Now, depending where the split is in the finger, can really affect forehands. But Casey does well with that one.
Yes. Still going to be in the thicket on the left. Nothing's easy from over there.
And after seeing the pin on your second shot, it might not feel amazing to take the par, but a par on 10 is gaining at least half a stroke on the field. So Andrew will be dropping a shot down to 8 under with the bogey. Casey has this to save his par. Oh, and high, but not center enough. Just a little too high as well, perhaps. Fantastic.
Now, Casey needs to calm down a little bit. That's a couple bogeys in the last few holes. It can feel like it's starting to slip away, even though he still has control of the tournament. He needs to put a Band-Aid on it and quick. Injuries, no injuries, still the same situation. Bogeys will make you go backwards and people can catch you really quick. Even if he cleans it up and just takes a few pars here and there, that'll help.
Check in with Paul, who I think that's a little early. And he's going to be in a scramble. Oh, no. And that was, I don't want to say lazy, but it just didn't have the normal Paul Macbeth flair to it. And we are no longer showing a highlight. This is a big number coming for Paul.
Go.
Okay.
Oh, and that is so good.
Yep. So, a mini highlight. If he can save this bogey, and he does. That could have been a lot worse. And a couple bogeys in a row now for Paul. And same for our leader, Casey White, who hasn't had a birdie in quite some time. Just 1 under for his round now.
This isn't one that you're going to check off as a birdie hole. It's 380 feet, and you have these 3 trees right in the middle of the fairway, which whoever designed this hole must have been a mathematician to make sure that the bend of your disc is exactly where those trees are, because they did a fantastic job. If you hit the gap, doesn't matter, you're hitting one of those middle trees most likely. This is a very tight backhand.
Oh.
And he'll take that all day.
Yeah, and I think we'll see a mix of shots here. Remember, high spin rate, and he really likes flipping up angles. This is a really great forehand, Paul. You're not going to see it thrown better.
I've never seen one better.
That's just incredible.
Prez has got this shot shape in his bag. Lots of hyzer. Needs to just miss that middle guy if he hits the line. Right over the tee pad. And he does it. He does it.
That puddle just destroyed the forward momentum that he should have received. That was a great shot. Casey really working angles here, committing to the backhand, just outdrives the fairway before the disc can bend. A great shot.
That's really good from there. Wow.
I'm still kind of blown away with how good of a tee shot we saw with Joey Buckets. You have to play the hole, I think, to really truly understand how rare it is to see a forehand not just go down the middle of the fairway, but to continue to stand up gradually, have such a soft skip, and then land in bullseye. It's one of the rarer tee shots you'll see. And Andrew, that just no reward for how great of a shot that really was out of his hand.
He had a makeable putt there.
Very little reward. Just a lot of players can throw not that good of a tee shot and get the same score.
Sure.
And his shot was highly executed. Very well, high level of risk and danger and a high level of execution. And the result just didn't really show.
Gonna just be a bunch of pars now, and Joey Buckets with the greatest eagle of all time. It's a birdie. But feels like an eagle. When you're on the lead card of a major championship and you're gaining strokes on everybody.
No question.
How many birdies were on that hole? I'm actually very curious. Doesn't
11.
Okay.
Yeah, 11.
Out of 94.
Well, 12. 1,050-foot hole. Tee shot turns to the right. Second shot usually is the bottom of the hill. For people playing for 4 shots, you want to get to the top of the hill, and then you go down the tunnel. There are... The drone makes it look simpler than it is. That's just the only way you can really put it in words. Every place you want to put your disc, there's something there.
Joey, this is inside. He's gonna... he gets past him, so...
Okay, right by the FPO tee pad. If this hits the line, this is moving.
I think it's safe to say he hit the line. Oh, you brat.
That tee shot should not have a tree in front of it, and that's just my take on it. It's too good to throw a shot all the way up there and still be dealing with a lousy lie around the corner 400 feet.
Hurry.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, and yeah, he's addressing the finger. Oh, boy. Gosh, it just couldn't be worse timing. Whoa. Yeah, that's far enough that he should be able to scramble to the other side of the bridge.
Looks like you found some tape now.
I think tape's the best way to handle it. New skin just kind of doesn't have enough time to really dry and solidify with the amount of pressure and force you're putting on the disc with the throw. And so I think the tape is really the only way you can really protect yourself from further injury.
Is this up high enough?
It's certainly skating.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. Good spot to be.
Yep. It's a spot to play for the 5.
Which is what Joey's trying to do here.
Yep. And you don't want to get too close to the hillside. You'd like to stay left of that about 20 feet. Close. I mean, fortunately, though, there's only a few trees in front of him and not a cluster. If he's like another 15 feet back and to the right, he might not have a way to get to the top of the hill. So should be able to find some hole to get to the top.
You are an aggressive man.
All the way to the top. It's so hard to get all the way to the top.
That's pretty much there. He's actually going to be able to make a swing without having to get the nose up.
Mm-hmm. That's a great shot from Casey. It's going to be at the base of the hill, which is just, it's punishing. It's punishing to be that close to the hill. But still, really beautiful throw from back there.
Oh, baby.
Great control. One more of those, and Andrew will take a 5.
Almost gets to the top. Yeah, gets all of it.
That's about as good as you can do from the bottom of the hill. You got to go something overstable to kind of get the right to left movement with the forehand. But then by the time it gets down to the ground, it's just going to fade off the fairway every time.
Oh, what a fantastic kick.
Yeah, you love that. So it should be a pretty simple jump putt for Ezra to get up there and secure the 5.
Look at that spicy
Joey's
shot.
so good. He's just
Really good.
like under the radar in so many different ways good, you know? Just hits gaps, gives himself so many chances. Doesn't make big mistakes. And that's a bit of a mistake. Can clean it up with a good putt. But Ezra would love to get his name on the short list of players who have taken a 4 on this hole with a big putt here. An aggressive run that goes past.
Good little bit at it. Now, depending on the time, this does get really swirly over here as far as the wind.
In case you don't care.
Good putt.
Sends it in there for the bogey 6. I'm sorry, just call it the 6.
You said you weren't going to do it anymore.
I'm just calling them numbers.
Ezra with the comebacker. Deal?
And that's a 5 for Ezra. It's a fantastic score. Nearly as good as you can score on this hole. But there were 3 players who did score better. Thomas Gilbert being one, and then the other 2 are the usual suspects, Anthony Barella and Ricky Wysocki. Two players that I got confused for who birdied it twice last year. And yeah, this is Ricky Wysocki's putt 4. The 4. Take a look here at Niklas up on 13. This is third card action. And that is going to skip to the good spot.
That's a very well thrown tee shot right there.
It just sets up the most stock forehand putter you could possibly throw. And the basket looks like the giantest thing I've ever seen with that zoom. That's hilarious. You think that's why Niklas is such a good putter? Because the basket's like bigger proportionally to his body size?
Part of the reason. But mostly because it's bigger than the disc.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah, flying over 13. We just saw Niklas break the hole down perfectly. Do what he did. I'll say nothing else.
Yeah, slight hyzer. Skip it around the corner.
Just throw it across the pond.
Stock, hyzer, sidearm, or a little late turn. But this place gets tricky. You hit early, and it can be an absolute nightmare.
And once again, the crosswind, the left to right cross tailwind that's coming off the cornfield behind. Oh, that could not have been
Luckier?
Boy, if you kick in left early, say goodnight to par, say goodnight to fun for a while. You want to do this.
If you decide to go out here and play this course, say goodnight to fun for a while.
Yeah, it's like a version of fun in like a really twisted reality.
It's like, yeah, eating extra spicy food.
Oh, and that's what typically happens when you throw it inside. It's a really good comparison, Paul. It's like your friend convincing you to try Carolina Reaper. Why would you do it? Willingly. It could be fun. But you'll probably end up bleeding. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. That's one thing that this place doesn't have a lot of. It doesn't have a lot of thorns and briars, so that's good. Ooh, this looks good.
Wow, gets away with that tee shot.
Yeah, and gets a birdie look.
Casey needs to get something going here. Get back on track, and that looks pretty dang good.
A good tee shot, good second shot. Don't know if he'll have an obstructed putt for birdie, but
hold. Oh,
and this is just like the check-in we saw with him during round 2. Once again, he nearly played the hole the same way 2 times in a row. Hoping to stay clean. Oh, hits the tree, and you know, it's not too bad of a result. It is possible to hit that tree and go backwards into the out-of-bounds pond, but now Andrew just has this left to save the par. And he does it. It's been a good scrappy round for Andrew.
Yeah, holding it together. 8 under is a fabulous score for the tournament.
I think anything around 5 still keeps you in it.
Oh,
just
sure.
Knowing how diabolical this stretch 12, 13, 14 can be, how difficult hole 18 is played, and Joseph Anderson getting the birdie after the errant tee shot. That is a rare result.
Casey to answer.
Yep. He takes his time, collects his thoughts, and gets the birdie just to stay tied with Joey Buckets.
And Ezra remains 1 back.
At one point, there was a 6-shot lead for KC.
There's no such thing as a lead on this course.
Yeah, it was, at the time, it was 6 shots above the next closest.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. I mean, a great lead, yes. 2 strokes, 3 strokes, 5 strokes. You always want to lead. Mm-hmm. But on this course, with the best players in the world, it is the craziest stuff can happen.
Hole 14, par 5. A lot of crazy things have happened here and will continue happening here as long as this hole is on the course. Because like we said in round 2, this hole is just a flat-out bully. Didn't have many friends on the school bus. Took your lunch money. Bunch of wedgies.
Loves hot sauce.
Decent looking tee shot for Joey. Careens off a tree on the edge of the fairway and kicks left. Just goes full send once again, man. And just stop it. That was a noogie. That was like such a good looking shot.
This one's early. Don't.
Okay, the double kick is very necessary.
Yeah, it takes 9 out of the equation. Almost.
Yeah. Just from there, you have to be disciplined and get to the corner. That's the only thing. And Andrew has laced another tee shot, and he'll have a straight look down the gap. Very well done. So from here, a lot of times you get tempted into trying to turn it into the gap, and you just need to... You have to be disciplined with this shot because you can throw it straight. It can even hyzer out to the right side as long as you have access down the tunnel for your next throw. And I think Casey was a little bit over aggressive with trying to turn that shot over.
I agree with you. He could have done the same shot that he just did there.
Yep. Ezra trying to find a way through. This hole kind of ate him up during round 2.
And that's not a great kick. That's in the thickest part of that corner. See if Joey's learned and he's just going to pitch one to the middle. No. Gets aggressive.
It doesn't buy you much, but it seems like it's the right thing to do in the time. Meanwhile, Andrew's playing a completely different hole right now from the rest of the guys. He has thrown as good of a second shot as you can really throw with this strong right to left crosswind.
And that pretty much takes the bogey out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have to really make a mess of the last couple hundred feet of the hole to take worse than a 5.
And that's a really good shot there from Casey. I'm curious to see where, or not Casey, pardon me, Joey. I'm curious to see where Ezra ended up.
I've got news to report, and this is noteworthy. As Casey's throwing a nice shot, kicks back to the middle too. Hole 14 is averaging a higher number than hole 12. I have never seen a hole average higher than hole 12 ever in disc golf. A pretty incredible statistic.
Oh no.
And this might be back on 13. I mean, that is so far left.
Be lucky to find that. Joey gave himself a chance to save the par, but just pulls it. And with that wind, it's pulling all the shots to the left-hand side.
Oh. Shot number 5 for Casey hits a tree and back to trying to figure out the tape on the finger. It's just, once again, you hate to see that.
Prez, if he could just somehow get the birdie out of this. Not gonna do it.
First 2 shots as good as you can throw. The third one could have been better. Oh, no, Casey. And what was there for a long time has now been lost. Surely he will no longer be the co-leader.
And you were right. He was in that other fairway. He was wide open, nothing around him, but I don't exactly know where that approach shot went. Didn't look like it had a lot of want behind it.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of threw it up there. You can't do that in the wind. It's got to have
careless.
Got to have some pace.
So Casey actually needs some work just to save the 8. Oh, and gosh, okay, nearly throws it in. That would have been a miraculous 7, but it's going to be a triple bogey. Joey trying to ring that one up to save the par. But
saw Calvin do it.
The bogey is actually going to give Joey Buckets the lead, as our co-leader, Casey White, is about to take an 8.
New
Tough.
color on the scorecard.
Yeah. Don't like seeing that color. And this 5 just shoots Andrew Presnell right up into contention. And a check in once again with Niklas Antala pulling this one pretty wide left.
Gets away with it, though. That was not his intention to go that wide, I don't think.
No, I certainly don't think so either. But a solid delivery, and Niklas got through the 12, 13, 14 stretch at 1 over, and that is well done. And with the birdie at 15, the last 4 are played at even par. You'll take it. Calvin Heimberg up on 17. This is turned over, and I think that may be safe. On the other side of the bridge, an interesting spot to find your drive. Go for the skip shot over the bridge.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now slide off the bridge with your feet.
Do something.
Good birdie.
Yeah, good birdie. Niklas going for the very interesting hyzer flip down the middle route and just near ace run. Fantastic. Take a look at Ricky Wysocki, a player who has not won a major championship since his Worlds win in 2017. So a long drought for him. Oh, man, using every part of it. It's pretty unbelievable to think that Ricky Wysocki, one of the greatest champions of our time, has gone 7 years since his last major win.
That is. I mean, even though he's won what I feel like is our 5th major, the Pro Tour Championship back-to-back years, which is the biggest payout and has the best field ever assembled each year, pretty much.
Yes.
But yes, I agree. When you think about Ricky, you think about majors, and you know
that's what he defines his career.
Yeah, this is circled on the calendar. Absolutely.
And flying down one of the prettiest holes on the course. Hole 15, classic par 4 here at Northwood Park. 650 feet. Want to get to that ditch. And then you want to just fashion some sort of shape going through these trees on your way up to the pin here. It's well protected. Keeps you honest with both shots. Easy to find out of bounds left, though.
Especially with all these guys going to be throwing this backhand turnover. Likes to pull to the left.
And it likes the kick left as well.
With the spin that you put on it, for sure.
Andrew is not concerned about any of that. He's 50 feet past the ditch and right in the middle of the fairway. You couldn't really place it in the fairway any nicer than that. It's that pink disc again, Paul.
He throws it well, and now he's got a sidearm to boot from there.
You love it.
This is pulled. Gets away with it, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be more than likely a par at best. You really have very little lane to get to the pin from that right side.
Is this flippy enough?
Oh, it's trying its best. Just don't get pulled, OB. It stays in.
God, he needed that break.
Yes,
there.
he did. After the 8, a birdie here would be so nice. Well, it'll take a C2 putt to achieve that birdie. Maybe slightly obstructed by a few trees. And looks like Ezra's trying to fashion some sort of escape route. And he does very well. Wow. Okay. I do apologize for assuming there's no way to get through there, but I've been over there, and that was a top-notch shot for Ezra.
I thought Joe would have a 2-piece, but instead he's going with the
4-piece.
4-piece, and he makes good. Right into the circle. Prez looking to get on a birdie roll, and that will help.
Yes, it will.
A lot of gray, which isn't a bad thing in the last few holes.
Casey's birdie bid sails wide right. Joey buckets. Getting buckets. It's been a special back 9.
Man, you ain't lying.
Increasing the lead, at least over KC, but got other company to worry about right now. As he slips to 9 under, he is no longer even in second place anymore. And he will be tied with this man right here after a fantastically played hole 15. Andrew Presnell, who we lovingly sometimes call the pretzel. He's out here playing like he's kneading dough.
The Prez dispenser, man. Just making putts constantly.
The Prez dispenser. I like that.
Hole 16, par 3, 330 right down the hill. You do have that relief area on the left in that creek. But you want to throw your straightest shot that just kind of comes up here and gets past these logs. Or you can throw them into those logs in that retaining wall and have a putt up the hill. I believe we've been seeing Casey go with the flex forehand.
That is a really good shot that does not get rewarded as well as it should have. I don't think it goes into the automatic relief zone. Oh, look at this angle, Paul.
Super hyzer flipping. He doesn't get it.
That's bogus.
Don't hit that branch.
Oh, come on.
That branch is right in the nicest money zone.
And that, I believe, is in the... Yeah, so that'll send Ezra to the casual relief zone. And Casey just cannot get a grip right now with the tape. He actually kind of has an awkward... Does he go over this branch? Yes, he does with the spike hyzer. Got to get on top of that tier. He does. So still an outside chance to get the birdie. Who can forget last year's Pro Tour Championship putting display that Ezra put on, just making putts from everywhere. Bottom of the hill, Joey draws air. Tricky putt from down here.
No problem for Prez.
Twist that one in there.
Prez has got his brother on the bag, too. Big brother.
Nice.
It's always nice. Shout out to my big brother, Pete. Miss you, buddy.
Shout out to my older sister who doesn't play disc golf. Shout out to all the siblings in the world.
Absolutely.
So Andrew Presnell, the only birdie on hole 16, which just feels like a hole you just hate to not get the birdie on after everything that you've gone through mentally, physically, especially this being the second round of the day for these guys. It's just, you have to keep that into account because the body is breaking down at this point. The brain, the mentals, everything is just so, it's at its wit's end. And yet somehow Andrew is still delivering great shots like that, and he has moved into a tie for second place, 2 back of Joey Buckets. He is 5 under for the round, and that's incredible. Do want to shout out Ezra Aderhold, who put down an 8 under performance earlier today.
Wild round.
Which is course record for good reason, and the conditions, I think, were more difficult in this round than they were in round 1.
Absolutely.
So it's not only course record, but it's just a phenomenal round all around.
Prez going with a heavy turn on this one with a stable disc. Oh, talk to me, Bubba.
Nothing to be salty about there.
Can he get away with it? Oh, yes, he can.
Joseph Anderson is living life on the wild side, man. He is one with nature.
This is a little heavy on the turn.
Yeah, this could be, and it ramps off the bridge out of bounds. Tough break for Ezra. Casey really confidently firing that through the gap. But once again, you got to slow down back here. And that is why. The farthest in the corner you can possibly be, and he finds out of bounds.
That's just a heartbreaker right there.
That is a tough break.
So good, and then...
I mean, Joey Buckets is going straight out of bounds. Meanwhile, you hit the gap, you hit the line, and there's a lattice fence back there, and you find OB back there? And it dances on the nub short.
He's had a bunch of those.
Oh, man, it has been a terrible last 2 hours for Casey White. Meanwhile, Ezra Robinson sticking the par in the basket.
It's one thing we haven't seen this round is a lot of long putts going. We saw one from Joey early in the round.
Yep.
Other than that, nothing's going in for these guys from outside the circle. But
yeah, C2 has been...
It's hard to hit C2 on this course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't get that many C2 looks.
No.
It's strange that that's the case, but it seems to be that way.
A lot of 150-foot up shots to just get in the C1 for the par.
That being said, Casey has made several putts from edge of circle. He's had some really nice putts today, but like I said, the last couple of hours has been really tough for him. Meanwhile, the last 3 holes for Presnell have been incredible, and he got through the 12, 13, 14 stretch at even par, and that is in itself making up 2.5 strokes on the field.
Right.
So he is playing incredibly well, and this late charge is paying off. Looking to secure his position, not just on lead card for Championship Sunday, but trying to stay right there behind our leader, Joseph Anderson.
Hole 18,
Poof.
par 5, 1,040 feet. It's really a standard hyzer. Just hope not that you do not skip to the left side. There's a tee pad that you'll be able to see once this disc lands. It looks like in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
If you're in line with this tee pad for a backhand, you'd like that. If you're on the left side, it's better for the forehand. I think all around you would rather be left side if you have the forehand, because the fairway also shapes better for a flex shot with the sidearm coming in if you're righty. Joseph's going to have more of a flip up.
Yeah, he took some distance off just to ensure that he would stay in the fairway. The farther up the fairway you get, the skippier it gets. The ground is a little softer back there where Ezra lands. Where our spotter is standing is a little bit harder packed ground, and so you can imagine a hyzer skipping off into the rough.
This needs to hurry and come back. It does, but that's a tight lie. Oh.
An errant shot for Joey Buckets, left side. He's going to need a big second shot to put him back into position for the par.
This is a really tight line for a backhand, and he does it slow down in time before that bunker.
I don't think it's going to. And Casey's wanting to just sit straight down. Gosh, you feel for him, man. He's still 8 under. You take the score and you explain it in no terms. You say, I'll give you 8 under through 3 rounds.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. You take
Buy
it.
or selling.
You're taking it. You're buying it 100%. That being said, it has definitely not been the way that he would like to get to 8 under. Still has work to do to stay there, though, and it's going to get a lot harder from here. He's got a 450 to the pin, I'm guessing.
It's a pretty good guess. Joey in a decent spot to save the par if he cannot get this
don't
one
go to the right side. Oh boy, that stuff is thick and nasty.
And look at Prez. in the middle with a shot to go.
Oh, and that smacks down the hole 18 so hard. It is such a difficult finishing hole. It almost seems like the perfect finishing hole for Northwood. Casey delivering a big fourth shot.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got the turn that he wanted on it.
Yeah.
A little more turn and he might be closer to C1, middle of C2, but that's going to be long putt.
Can we call fourth shots second, third shots?
Sure. We can do whatever we want. We have control over. We can name shots.
Joey really needs a good second, third shot right now. Has to stand this back to the basket. We call that bucket pending. Get to make it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And he goes horizontal tomahawk on the approach.
Oh, almost drains it.
For his third second shot. Sorry. I'll leave it alone. It's 230.
Oh, Prez.
There, yeah, that's going to save the par. And that means that with Joey Buckets putting for bogey, Andrew Presnell guaranteed par, he will be co-leader. And as is hoping to be co-leader as well.
Casey would just love to find a little more magic. He knows it doesn't have the want on it.
Needed a birdie to stay on lead card going into the final round, and he's going to end up taking a bogey. Oh, goodness. No. A double coming for Joseph Anderson. Casey can't wait to get off the course. Just head back to the house and go to sleep and just try to forget about how this round ended. Try to tape up the finger and try to prepare for the final day.
What was the lead starting this round?
The lead starting the round, he was at 11 under.
That's this kind of course. All of a sudden, 12 under's your lead.
Well, we've got Ezra Robinson at 10 under, Joseph Anderson at 10 under,
yeah,
and Andrew Presnell with his solid play shoots 6 under par, an incredible round in these conditions, and he's going to have a one-shot lead going into the final round with Niklas Antila jumping up 5 under for him. He's back on lead card. He's only 3 back. We've got a very scary chase card.
Yes.
Got Calvin Heimberg, who is still searching for his first major. Ricky Wysocki searching for his first major since in the last 7 years. It's going to be an amazing final round with 4 players who've never won a major on our lead card going into the final round. Can we see another new major champion crowned here at the PDGA Champions Cup? Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll find out. We'll see you then.